Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So today I have another reaction video for you. You can go ahead and tag me on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever you want to do it. Twitter? Do people don't tag people on Twitter? Instagram? TikTok, that's what I meant, TikTok. My username is always shown on screen and down below in the description box. Just before we get into this video today, these are reaction videos. I always put in a bit of education there for you. They're not to kind of like mock what people are doing. It's kind of to see it from another point of view. And as I always like to say, individuality and creativity have no rules, but makeup most definitely has a theory. And that's why sometimes you see these things online that may work for other people, might not work for you. And we're going to take a little deeper dive into that. Okay, let's just get straight into it. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to, like it. That's the same thing. Okay, let's go.
Okay, what is the biggest secret of Russian and Polish makeup artists? You all know that Eastern European professional makeup artists have some of the most vibrant, beautiful looks. This lady right here, she trained the lady that trained me. During my course, I did learn an eyeshadow hack that literally blew my mind. It's so fucking simple and so logical. Also, I'm by no means saying I'm anywhere near this level, but I had the training from them, so I just know what they do. I feel like in the celebrity makeup artist world is quite a gatekeeped thing. Obviously, I have to tell you. Number one, obviously you need a good base. We already know that. You're getting nowhere without an eyeshadow base. That's no secret. But number two, this is probably gonna make some people mad as well. Liquid fucking matte lipstick. You heard me right. To all the haters that say, no school would teach that. Yes, a celebrity makeup artist did teach that. Use a good matte liquid lipstick. NYX has loads of colors that you can use on your eyes. Place some of it on your hand and tap your brush into it, like a normal blending brush, and start with that as your base for the eyeshadow in the shape that you want the eyeshadow to be. Just tap it wherever you want it to be. As you can see, I'm using two different colors of lipstick. The lipsticks that she used during the course with me were those NYX ones, those exact ones. They have loads of colors. And after it's dry, go in with your eyeshadow. Look how much more vibrant that is already, like straight off the bat. Right now I'm doing no blending. All I'm doing is just tapping that color on. You can see the difference. I didn't have the lipstick here, and I did here. Look at the difference of how the eyeshadow looks. Now we're going in with the blending method that I already showed you, so light a shade in one spot and just those motions, and then add and move to the next spot. And boom, you can thank me later. Or thank me now and follow. I think I'm like deeply obsessed.
Okay, so liquid lipsticks on the eyes. As I said in that video, this will probably, some people will be like, oh, you can't do that. Let me tell you something about what is recommended and what makeup artists, some makeup artists, I shouldn't speak for everyone, actually do. The amount of times makeup artists, you may know if you're doing like professional a shoot or even on your own clients, there's a lot of times you use makeup in places where it's not designed for. Liquid lipsticks on the eyes, if you are willing to be maybe stained a little bit, don't mind the not recommended for use around the eyes, is a great idea. I've done it before. I've used black liquid lipstick around the eyes and it works phenomenally, really well. If you have the permission from your client, permission from yourself, you don't mind taking that risk, then why not? But of course, it's going to give that really nice, strong, long-lasting hold. From my experience, you have to work quite quickly with them because they set like crazy, but it's easy to blend eyeshadow on top. Yeah, like people use lipsticks on the lids, people use lip glosses on the eyelids, people use eyeshadows as highlighters. Honestly, it's about playing with textures and things like that if you want to do it. Is it recommended by the brands? No. As an artist, can you do whatever you want as long as it's not endangering people's lives? Yes.
This is an unpopular opinion that's going to ruffle some feathers. I think one of the major eyeshadow mistakes that I see people doing is that they do the windshield wiper, which if you don't know, the windshield wiper is when you apply your color and you go back and forth like this. Pretty much every YouTuber and their mom tells you to do this. But the reason I don't like that is because it can deposit too much product and it can make you overblend. And one of the worst things, if you have hooded eyes, when you're blending down, you're gonna pull the eye down. And we don't want that. We wanna lift up our eyes. So instead, what I want you to do when you're applying color in the crease is I want you to go from the outer part of your eye and blend in a one-directional blend, which means you're gonna start here, blend forward, lift your brush, go back to that spot, and repeat. This is also going to help you create a gradient effect with your eyeshadow. By the way, my name is Donna, and I'm a professional makeup artist with over 16 years of experience, and I'm here to teach you pro techniques to help you master your own makeup or become a pro yourself. So follow me if you want some more.
I think that's a very, very good point. When you're blending eyeshadow, it's good to do a mixture of techniques. And it depends what's kind of comfortable for you, and it depends on a brush as well. But as I mentioned in that video, where you apply your brush initially is where you get the most color payoff. So perhaps going backwards and forwards is going to give you a bit of a wash. I personally like to, a washy look. I personally like to go like this, like small, tiny little bits and buff out a tiny little bit at a time. But what a good point about just blending it that way and getting more of a gradient to the eyeshadow, especially if you're not used to blending. That's a really good idea. Great idea. This is what I love about hearing from other professional makeup artists and people who have had training or people who have learned from other makeup artists is you always learn something different and there's always a new technique to learn. No one should be so arrogant as to think they have the answer or know everything, you know?
This is my hood, okay? So I have a really small hood. Watch me get rid of this hood. Eyelash glue right on top of your hood, like this. Like, go all around. Let it dry. You want it to get slightly tacky. You want to get like a flat object like this. Something that you can get inside your hood. Slide that object right under your hood and push it up like that. Use the flat end to like smooth it. Where is my hood? Somebody tell me, where is my hood? My hood is gone, guys. Look, this is my hood, and my hood is gone. Instantly, my eyes opened. I have so much eyelid space. Eyeshadow will not get lost in here. This is insane, you guys. This is a game changer.
So I think we've seen this before, right? I've reacted to something similar to this before. This is a technique that is used in Japan, South Korea, China for many, many years. They actually sell little stickers, little tapes and glues and little tools that do this specifically to either deepen a socket or completely smooth out a hood. And it works. You can put makeup on top of it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Is it a bit, it's an added step to makeup that may be a little bit, I feel like she did that really, really incredibly well in that video and made it really smooth. And I feel like that might take a little bit of practice for some people, but it's something that happens. If you don't want to use like lash glue, if you go to Yes Style, they do many, many products that work for that. Yeah, it looks crazy. It looks really strange, but it's not. It really does work.
This right here is a common makeup mistake that you're probably making. And this mistake is something that I like to call primer abuse. If you find that your foundation is looking thick, heavy, cakey, exaggerating every imperfection on your face, you're probably a victim of this mistake. Think of your face as a freshly baked cake and your makeup as the frosting. The more frosting you add, the thicker that cake is about to look. And even primer layers can make your makeup look very heavy. Now, hydration is key when it comes to your base, so make sure your skin is moisturized first and foremost. After you moisturize, if you choose to use a primer, choose something that suits your skin type. Now, there's nothing wrong with using two different primers, but you want to keep them targeted. The e.l.f. Poreless Primer, use this in areas only where you have exaggerated pores. If you're dry, use something that is more hydrating and has a serum-like texture like the NYX Plump Right Back. The point is you don't need 900 steps to get good foundation. Less is more, and remember, moisturized skin is happy skin.
Great advice. By the way, this primer is incredible. I absolutely love it. There's this thing in amongst everyone where it's up and down whether or not people should be using primers, whether they're gimmicky, whether they work, maybe they don't. And we have so many priming options at the moment. It's, again, like what was said in the video, it should be targeted to your type of skin. And if you need it, do you really have large pores? Or do you not, you know? Or do you actually have large pores that you actually need a primer that show when you put on makeup like holes? For example, like I have one here, that's a pore and it shows. So I could use a pore filling primer on that. But to me, that's an exaggerated version of pore texture. You know what I mean? I think a lot of us look at our skin and look at different things on our face and we're like, oh, we need to prime for that. We need to do that, when actually skincare might just be good underneath a certain type of skincare. So the recommendation of using different primers in different areas is such a good idea. Just like we would use skincare, we use, I don't know, I'm not a good skincare person, but perhaps you use a cream in an area somewhere that's excessively dehydrated or excessively dry, like you might, I don't know, I choked on myself, you might not use on your forehead, something like that. So if you're using a pore primer everywhere, say on your forehead, and you don't need it there, your foundation is that's not what your skin needs. Your foundation is gonna look a little bit strange. So I personally, I'm very, very oily, and I've been using a primer like this because it almost feels like a serum. Oh, it is serum, plumping serum primer. Okay, on the skin, it's giving me hydration. It's giving me a little tiny bit of tackiness, but it's smoothing out my skin. I actually didn't use that now. I actually didn't do any skin. I'm filming loads of videos, so I've taken my makeup on and off like 5 times, and I can't be bothered to put skincare on. Yeah, really good advice, basically. A pinpoint, and it can be the same with your foundation, like pinpoint certain areas and think about what it really needs to get the most out of your foundation, out of your makeup.
Because this video is now going viral, I thought I'd share the real reason and truth behind why I filmed this, which relates to this comment here and any makeup artist or anyone in general comparing themselves to what they see on social media. I've never shared this story with anybody, but here it is. A few days before I had captured that video, I had a client come over. It was a first-time client. I had never done her makeup before. She asked for a full glam. She got it. I thought she looked really great. She said she looked really great too. She liked it. So she said. Fast forward a few hours, she writes me an email. In this email, she includes how unhappy she is and how disappointed she is in the makeup, and it turned out so bad. She even included a photo, like a selfie. It was taken like real up close. No one looks good at this angle. It was like this. And it was in an elevator, guys, an elevator. It was in the elevator of my apartment building that I was living in at the time. She had taken it on her way out. And everyone knows elevator lighting is the worst. Like, who grabs a photo in that kind of situation? Anyways, I got to thinking about it at the time, and I really thought to myself, Spence, you got no one to blame but yourself, right? Because every photo I had posted on social to promote my work as a makeup artist was taken in the perfect lighting that anyone looks good in, with the right camera or filter. And I had wanted to mimic what I had seen from, big celebrity makeup artists that we see all over social. Because truth be told, when I was starting out in makeup, I was so discouraged comparing my work to theirs because my work did not turn out what they had posted in their photos on their clients, until I started, working my way up in the business and working around these group of makeup artists, and found that, yes, their makeup looks really beautiful in person, but what they had posted of that same makeup on the same client on social looked quite different, and that filters and lighting and all these little things played a big factor. And then I realized, I had become the problem. I am now that person that people are setting their standards to, and it was not a good feeling. And I had never wanted to feel that way again, especially after reading that email. So that's why I grabbed that video. I did makeup on my good friend Lorena, who's the model in that. As you can see, she's stunning. Like, even in person with no makeup, like, she's gorgeous, right? And I figured if my makeup makes her look crazy in bad lighting, anyone's gonna look like this that I do makeup on. And I have to give her credit too, because it's not easy to be in that vulnerable of a situation. So yeah, that's why I filmed it, guys. Don't discourage yourself from what you see on social. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Let's talk about this, because it's such a good point. So if you don't know, or you aren't familiar with Painted by Spencer, what a talented, incredible makeup artist. Just amazing. And I think something very valid was brought up in those TikToks. If you're not familiar with TikTok they're speaking about, I'll put it here. It's some amazing makeup, and then it shows the different lightings and all that kind of stuff and how it looks in real life. So I've been, a lot of you already know, I've been doing makeup since I was 18 years old. I'm now 33. And when I started makeup, we didn't have Instagram. We didn't have, did we have Facebook? Yeah. Can't remember. Maybe I wasn't on it yet. Social media, YouTube, I think YouTube was around, but it was just starting up. It wasn't anything like you see now. And, I doubt many people had like ring lights in their houses, it was all very much, oh God, the lash glue. Still hasn't tried on this lash, look. Oh no, that's old glue. Okay. It was all very much like makeup was, you'd have it done nice for your wedding, all this kind of stuff. It wasn't, makeup brands weren't releasing everything. There were like 2 or 3 main brands that were like the go-to makeup brands to use. And as we slowly transitioned into this social media makeup situation, you would get more and more clients with more and more unrealistic expectations. And it's not their fault. Not everyone is trained, or not everyone knows how altered images look, or images that have gone through the process of being retouched. And working as a makeup artist, I have seen some of my images retouched. I'm like, oh, that skin looks different, because it will get retouched by someone else, not me. We didn't have this as many apps as we did now to retouch things that do it so well. So it wasn't like we were adding pictures online. But we got into this stage, and you would have people come in and it's like, I don't want too much makeup done, I want to look natural like this. And then they show you a picture of Kim Kardashian. I was like, how much makeup she looks great, but that's a lot of makeup. There's a thing in the makeup industry where we say, giving the look of no makeup requires a lot of makeup, and a lot of time and effort is put into that. And so seeing these images online where people are like, oh, the skin's so great, you can blend eyeshadow on Photoshop. I could just whack 2 colors, block together like this, and then I could blend it on Photoshop. There's so much you can do in editing an image that is giving people this unrealistic standard of beauty. And you can do that by looking at any brand's TikTok account or any brand's Instagram reels and seeing, someone using this completely blurred, they have this completely blurred face, and and people are like, oh my God, her skin's stunning. And you kind of feel a little bit sorry for them, because it's like, you can see there's a filter. You can see it's blurred, right? Like the eyelashes are blurring into their eye. The hairline is blurring into their skin. Like, there's a filter, right? Someone made a really interesting comment once on one of my pictures, and that I put on Instagram, and they were like, your makeup doesn't look, the colours doesn't look the same as it does in the video, which is completely true. On my Instagram, I'll edit my skin unless it's an advert for something to do with the skin, which I don't really do on Instagram. But when you take a picture with this camera, oh my God, it makes everything look amazing. The colors are more vivid. The blacks are deeper. A good camera does wonders. Like, there's so many things that I think we don't consider when we're thinking about how we look. So taking a picture to a makeup artist and being like, can I look like this? That whole image doesn't look like that in real life, So it is really something to start considering. Well, people do already, but it's like, I'm happy someone like Painted by Spencer said this, because we have this new breed of makeup artists where their work looks absolutely all the same. I mean, it all looks the same in terms of skin and the way it's retouched online, but in real life, that's not actually how it looks. So we have like these Instagram makeup artists, and if you were to hire any of them, you would be not disappointed, because I'm sure they do great makeup, but if you're expecting to look exactly like a picture with a smooth skin and you'll be very disappointed. Okay, I just want to say something. I know people might be like, oh, whatever, but if there's stuff there, use it, whatever. However, let me say something. Hygiene. Any lip product. Do you know how many people have maybe even touched the applicator for the thing, and now it's touching your face? You know what's happened in the world over the past, what is it now, 3 years, 2-3 years? Remember the whole thing? It's very unhygienic to use the testers on counter that haven't been sanitized, especially with the lip products, pencil, lipstick. You need to sanitize them. And actually, I'm surprised that counters still have applicators in. Every counter I worked on, we chopped them off before, so people didn't use them. Disposable things need to be used, because I always have this example. This girl that I used to work with, poor girl, used to walk in, just whack on her lipstick without sanitizing it, and then just wear it. She got this scar all down her face from something that just grew on her face. All the way down here, permanently scarred her face just because she didn't sanitize a lipstick. But then also, if you ask someone who's working there, you're kind of wasting their time. But please be careful with testers on counter. It's just so unhygienic to use them straight up like that. Especially now.
What if I told you I could teach you something to help you pick out a primer that's not going to make you oily or greasy? Come a little closer. I'm going to tell you the secret. Let me preface this by saying I did not come up with this, so I'm not going to take full credit, but I did have to share it with y'all because it's so good. Let's just say we're strolling through Sephora and we grab a random primer. And we're like, but wait, is this going to make me oily or greasy? I won't know until I try it. The only thing you need for this are your snapping fingers. Put whatever primer you've got on your fingers, rub it in, and if you can snap within a couple seconds of applying it, it's not going to make you oily or greasy. Boom. What? Let me tell you why. The reason why is because if it absorbs into your skin that fast where you can start snapping your fingers, it's not going to sit on top of your skin and leave you a greasy, oily mess. Makes sense? So if you're on the hunt for a primer that's not going to make you oily or greasy, snap your way through it, baby.
Let me test this. Let me 1 second, please. Okay, primer 1, the Victoria Beckham overpriced primer. Makes my skin greasy. Primer 2, the NYX, this is making a comeback, Plump Right Back primer. Absolutely fine. Okay, let me sanitize. Oh my God. Let's start with a NYX one, this one. Boop. I'll do a little drop on my finger here. Okay. And then the Victoria Beckham one. Taking a little bit longer. See? That is so good. Oh my God. Don't you just love the internet? Oh my God. That is such a good tip. Thank you, whoever you're crediting, and I thank you and them also. That was such a good idea. Genius. Some people are just too clever. Okay, well that is this week's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Go ahead and like this, subscribe if you want to. And I think I mentioned last week, I can't remember. I'm trying to only mention it once a week. I do have the option now to join my channel. So every single month I'm going to be doing a live Q&A or a live lesson exclusively for members of the channel, and other little bits here and there as well. You can just hover over the join button or click the join button down below for more information. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you very, very soon. Bye.